This is by a company called TobenONE. This is a Thunderbolt 4 dock, which can be picked up off Amazon. It has about 13 different ports for about every type of I/O needed. It does include a display port, which a lot of these devices don't really seem to have. Just having those extra frames compared to just 60, which just works better overall. Thunderbolt 4 is more ideal for Windows. Thunderbolt 3 is more ideal for Mac. Like, the differences between them are very minimal. Inside the box, you do get the usual stuff, the customer service card and the instructions, the TB4 dock, and a small Thunderbolt cable. You do have the base here to hold up the dock upright, which, I mean, this thing is covered in magnets. It does have the world's biggest power supply here. Even though Thunderbolt docks are fairly small, it does really require having extra power to keep everything going. The front side has the on and off button. You have a full size and micro SD card slot, 2 Type A ports and a Type C port, along with a headphone port. With this general setup, it gives you about every type of port needed to plug in about any accessory, any hardware. I do like having the SD card slot in front because I do a lot of photo and video with my memory cards. The backside offers even more ports plugged in, standard DC input for the power brick, Ethernet for wired data connection if Wi-Fi is unavailable or flaky. There are 3 full-size Type A ports, a Thunderbolt port, and another Type C port. You can daisy chain other Thunderbolt devices together. You also have HDMI and a display port for video. Personally, I prefer a display port because it offers more frames per second. My monitor can do about 240 frames per second. With a Thunderbolt device, just one cable, just one, and nothing else. That to me is game changing. Plug in my laptop, turn on my Thunderbolt device, wiggle my mouse, and I'm ready to pick up where I left off. Switching from a pile of cables to a Thunderbolt dock has always been game changing to me. Going between Thunderbolt 3 and 4 is not nearly as bad and convoluted compared to normal USB. USB-C has at least 12 different standards for that oval port. Picking up the right cable can even be more of a headache. For most people, Thunderbolt 3 and 4 are quite similar, but there are a couple key differences. Thunderbolt 4 is a little bit better to distribute bandwidth to other Thunderbolt devices, and Thunderbolt 3 is better at consuming it all in one. Thunderbolt 4 supports up to 100 watts of charging speeds. Thunderbolt 3 can do about 80 watts, plus those docks are a little bit cheaper compared to 4. Even on my iPad Pro, I can connect it to my Thunderbolt dock for everything I need for work or school. It'll give me access to everything in the monitor, my accessories, and everything will work about the same on my Mac, give or take. All my storage, accessories, microphones, monitors, headphones. Compared to standard USB over HDMI, the video signal tends to be a little bit off. The aspect ratio, the colors might not be the same as you remember it. Using an ultra-wide monitor with my iPad over USB just stretches out the display. With Thunderbolt, it natively scales it to the proper resolution. Think of like retro gaming emulators for like the NES is 4:3, and when you stretch it out to 16:9, it looks stretched out.